Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So you see all these beautiful pots. This is actually all the pots have been painted by the devotees here in the temple room. Like everyone has come forward, painted beautiful pots, and then all the offerings is actually prepared by the devotees, and then all the pots have been offered for the pleasure of Shri Shri Gaur-Nitai. But what is the significance of this festival? What is the significance of the Panihati Chidda Dahi festival? So let's hear about the significance of this festival from His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So everyone, we kindly request you, please be seated. And we are going to have a class for 30 minutes. And after the class for 30 minutes, we'll be actually distributing these pots from the altar in a very special way. So please be seated and we'll start with the class. And after that, we have a wonderful program of distributing the prasadam. Everyone, please take your seats. Hare Krishna. And if you can kindly come forward. Hare Krishna, everyone please be seated. Hare Krishna. Also we request everyone please, you want to keep silence. Okay. So here, the children here, can I request all of you to come forward? Please come forward. All of you kids. Please come. Yeah, but now everyone please come forward. Come forward. And everyone please come closer. Please be seated. Okay, so everyone, we request everyone to be quiet and let's really focus on the class. His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj is going to talk. We request all the children, you need to be quiet now for the class. If the children are not quiet, we request parents if you can take them downstairs in Prabhupada Hall. Thank you. So let's loudly chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra so everyone can be focused and then we'll hear the talk. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Nice to see everybody. And so today, as you all know, we're celebrating what's called the Panihati Festival. I'm going to explain that in brief. The class is going to be a little short today because we're going to try to end by 5:30 so we can have this traditional auction of the prasadam. And anybody who takes a pot and gets the prasadam will get Lord Chaitanya's mercy, as we're going to describe in this particular story. So first we'll chant Jai Radha Madhava. Jai Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Radha Kunda Vihari Gopi Jana Valagoba Girivadunadi Gopi Jana Valaba Girivadunadi Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tera Manachari Yamuna Tera Manachari Jaya Radha Madhova Kunna Bihari Jaya Radha Madhova Kunna Bihari Pidana Bala Giri Badadhari Pidana Malaba Giri Badadhari Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tera Banachari Yamuna Tera Banachari Jaya Radha Madhova Kunna Bihari Jaya Radha Madhova Kunna Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravidikacharya O Surteta Sitashi Shimad His Divine Grace Sabaya Charanara Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shayam Mukunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Machuranam Ki Jai Jagannath Swami Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Shrimati Lasadevi Ki Jai Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bom. All glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Dinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nivashesha Shunyavadi Paschachate Shatarni. So, Om Gana Timiranda Shah Gananjana Shlakaya Chakshurun Meditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So this Panihati festival is very intimately connected with Lord Nityananda's mercy. And for those of you who don't know who Lord Nityananda is, some of you may not know, Lord Nityananda is Balaram, who appeared a little over 500 years ago. And without Balaram's mercy, no one can get Krishna's mercy. Nayamat ma bala hinena labwa. So how do you get Balaram's mercy? What is the result of getting Balaram's mercy? And how do you get Lord Chaitanya's mercy? It's very interesting. Because if you get Lord Chaitanya's mercy, Kevalananda Kanda, then you simply become happy all the time. Pretty good, isn't it? So there's certain prerequisites for getting Lord Chaitanya's mercy, which we're going to hear about in the story, which I'm going to try to tell rather quickly. So once upon a time, there was this personality called Raghunath Das. And Raghunath Das was born in a very wealthy family, what we would consider to be like Bill Gates' family nowadays. Bill Gates or Elon Musk's family, or who else? Rockefeller, he's dead. So, that dates you. So, very rich family. And he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya by meeting Lord Chaitanya in a place called Shantipur. Okay. And he became very ecstatic after meeting Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And so he went to meet, well, actually, in the meantime, he tried to escape from home. Now, why did he try to escape from home? That's interesting. If home was so comfortable, why did he try to escape from home? Because his parents tried to engage him in material things. And there's no problem with having a comfortable home. We all want a comfortable home. It's not that all of you should try to run away from home. That's, nobody would bring their children to the temple anymore if I made that point, right? Okay, you kids, you should run away from home and join the temple. We got an ashram here. So, I don't think we're suggesting that. But his parents just want to engage him in business, and by nature, he wasn't a businessman. So we're talking about Varnashram here. Everybody knows about Varnashram? Everybody has a particular propensity. We're Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudra. So if you take a Brahmin and you try to engage him in business, he gets very unhappy. Or if you take a businessman, you try to engage him in preaching, well, he'll probably try to make a lot of money by giving Bhagavad Saptahas. Uh-oh. So, that happens. So therefore, everyone should be engaged according to their propensity. I remember when I was young, my father was a big businessman. He tried to engage me in business. He even offered me a lot of money to leave the Krishna conscious movement. At that time, it was $100,000, which is worth about $1 million nowadays. Can you imagine? Okay, I'll give you $1 million not to chant anymore. Will you do it? No? Don't believe it. So anyways, so he offered, and I said, no, Dad. That's hard, It wasn't hard. Because, anyway, and I chose instead to live on the floor of an ashram and sleep with 30 other men in the same room, sharing the same clothes. Not at the same time. So anyway, so Raghunath Das, getting back to the story, he was naturally a preacher and wanted to preach, and his father wanted him to be a businessman. So after he met Lord Chaitanya the first time, he became so ecstatic, he kept running away from home, and parents kept dragging him back. So then he went to meet Lord Chaitanya a second time. Of course, every time he went to meet Lord Chaitanya, he was accompanied by all these bodyguards, not to protect him, but to protect him from running away. So these bodyguards were around him. And Lord Chaitanya advised him the second time, don't act foolishly like this. You should act like someone who has a secret loving affair. No, we don't suggest that either. But as to not arouse suspicion in anyone's mind that they have a secret life. Sometimes people join the Krishna conscious movement, their parents are against it, so they have a secret life of being devotees. They sneak into their room, into their closet, and start chanting Hare Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya advised that don't act foolishly. When it's appropriate time, then things will take their own course. So after that time, he acted like a perfect businessman, even though he didn't like it. But he was following Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions. And one thing he did well as a perfect businessman, his father and uncle, that's his father's name was Govardhan, quite an auspicious name, and his uncle's name was Haranya. That means gold. Sometimes you find people in India with the name Aranya, isn't it? Gold. So anyway, even certain families, certain parts of the world, they may be called Goldstein or Goldfarb or Goldberg or something like that. So anyway, so his father and uncle got in trouble because they were tax collectors and they were keeping something for themselves. Something they shouldn't have kept. So they ran away, he got put in prison, he negotiated as an expert businessman the parents' and uncle's release, and everything was going on well for some time. But then he heard that there was going to be the presence of Lord Nityananda, who we mentioned as Balaram, in this place called Panihati, and he wanted to go see Lord Nityananda. So he went to go see him, and when he went to go see him, he was very humble, because that's a Brahminical tendency to be very humble. And he didn't go close to Lord Nityananda, and Lord Nityananda said to him, like at a distance, "There's Raghunath, he's a thief, bring him to me." So Lord Nityananda is known as someone who is extremely funny and merciful. That's the nature of Lord Nityananda. Very, very funny personality. And an Navaduta also, which means basically like the wind. Sometimes he dresses like a grahasta, sometimes he dresses like a sannyasi, sometimes he puts a lot of jewelry on him. So who can tell? But he's the person we need to have the mercy of in order to approach Lord Chaitanya. So he put his feet on the head of Raghunath Das. And he said, "Now I have captured you. So therefore you should arrange a feast. And not only a regular feast," he said, Lord Nityananda said, "I belong to a community of cowherds." That's Balaram. Actually, Lord Nityananda was a Brahmin by caste, but still he was referring to his ontological position as Balaram. So he said, "I belong to a family of cowards, and we enjoy picnics." So the Panihati festival is actually a picnic. So on the bank of the Ganges, the devotees all sat down, and it was arranged that there were different pots of chip rice, some with yogurt, some with condensed milk, and I guess fruits and stuff like that. And everybody was chanting Hare Krishna. And there were so many people there to take this chip rice during the chip rice festival that some of the Brahmins actually had to be submerged, half submerged, in the water up to their waist. There wasn't enough space. So they were sitting in the water, eating, chanting Hare Krishna. And miraculously, Lord Chaitanya appeared, and not everybody saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was invisible to most people. And Lord Nityananda was taking a little bit of this chip rice preparation from each and every pot and feeding it to Lord Chaitanya, and they were going around the whole situation. In the meantime, there was another devotee of Lord Nityananda named Raghava Pandit, who in Krishna Leela is Damayanti. Damayanti is Krishna's cousin. And she, Raghava Pandit was Damayanti. And she was an expert cook. And so Raghava Pandit and his family were expert cooks, and they had prepared prasadam for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. And they brought the prasadam, and he said, "I prepared a feast." And Lord Nityananda said, "We're going to eat later at your place." So not only was there a feast during the Panihati festival, but there were actually two feasts, the feast in the evening. So that evening they all ate at Raghava Pandit's place. And after they ate, Raghava Pandit gave the remnants of Lord Nityananda's prasadam to Raghunath Das. And he said to Raghunath Das, by eating these remnants, here's the key, you're going to get shelter and freed from the entanglement that your parents are putting you under. And you're going to be able to join Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So just by eating the remnants. So anybody who takes the remnants of Radha Golokanand will get freed from whatever they're entangled in. Of course, you still got to go to work, you still got to go to school. So what do I mean by that? That real freedom, it's called Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means someone can live in this world and be functioning in different ways. As Krishna says in the Gita, that the self-realized soul sees when he is, what's that? Noise. So when he is sitting down, standing up, doing this, doing that, he knows he's not doing anything. He knows it's just the body interacting with the material elements. That doesn't mean when you're dancing in kirtan, it's just the body interacting with the material modes. But you're not the body. That's the first lesson we learn in the Bhagavad Gita, right? You're not the body. So the body's a machine. Yantra, Rudani, Maya, as Krishna says in the Gita. Ishwara sarvabhutanam, Ridesha Arjuna tishtati. Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra, Rudani Maya. This Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart. And we are seated on a machine made of the material energy. It's something like virtual reality or a simulation, which we're not going to talk about. It's one of my favorite topics. So it's something like that. So that's what it means to be liberated and absorbed in spiritual ecstasy. So that even if something happens to your body, you are not affected. Like that's Jivan Mukta. Like you see His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, when he was getting ready to leave this world, his mind was perfectly clear. Most people who are in such a situation, right, just skin and bones literally, they would be in extreme pain and they wouldn't be able to think properly. So Prabhupada was able to dictate his Bhaktivedanta purports even up to the time he was practically the day or the day before he left this world. Also, we see the example of Grandfather Bhishma. Everyone's heard of Grandfather Bhishma. Pitamaha. The Grandfather Bhishma was lying on a bed of arrows. Not just one arrow. What we can try, we can pierce you with one arrow and see how you feel. Try it. I mean, just a little scratch. And see if you're able to maintain your composure. But Grandfather Bhishma was pierced through with probably hundreds or thousands of arrows. It's described that not even a finger width was between the different arrows in his body. Of course, not in the head, but everywhere else. And yet he was able to speak. In the Mahabharata, you can read about the talks of Bhishma about politics and it's called Niti Shastra, as he was explaining to Yudhisthira Maharaj and the Pandavas what they should do, right? So that's Jivan Mukta. So you want to become Jivan Mukta means happy in all circumstances. The same thing as Krishna says in the Gita, Matra Sparshas Dukkanta Yasitoshna Sukha Dukkata Agama Payana Nityash Tamsha Tikshasha Bharata. So you become like that by taking the remnants of Krishna, becoming Krishna conscious, and of course chanting too. It's not that you just eat your way back to Godhead, but chanting the holy name, participate in this great Sankirtan movement, distributing Krishna consciousness to others. And then you'll be happy in all circumstances, whether you're in pain, whether the body's in pain, whether the body's not in pain, whether you're young, whether you're old. It's not going to make a difference to you. Whether you go to heaven, whether you go to hell. Narayana Paraksarena Kataschina Vivyati Swarga Pavarga Narakeshu Apito Artha Darshana. So what happened with Raghunath Das is that because he got the blessings of Lord Nityananda and also sponsored not only the Panihati festival, but he actually gave donations to all the Vaishnavas there before he left. Later on, he was able to escape from home. How did he escape from home? His Guru Maharaj came to his house and said to Raghunath Das, the Pujari didn't show up to worship Radha Lokananda. He didn't say Radha Lokananda, made that up. But the deity, Pujari didn't show up. Can you go preach to him? Of course, the Guru was in on the whole trick. So this was really late at night. The guards had fallen asleep, like the guards fell asleep in the prison house of Kamsa, so that Vasudeva could actually carry Krishna across the Yamuna. So the guards fell asleep, and Raghunath Das was able to sneak out. And ultimately, going through the forest and everything like that, he was able to join Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. And Raghunath Das had more association with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu than any of the other Goswamis of Vrindavan. And Raghunath Das became known as the Prayojana Acharya. Prayojana means the topmost goal, realization of Krishna consciousness. There's different stages of understanding Krishna consciousness. No, just to be brief, there's Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojana. Sambandha means to basically understand the facts of Krishna, the material energy, the jiva soul, who we are. Abhidaya means what to do about it, the process of sadhana bhakti. And Prayojana means the goal. So he was absorbed, not only absorbed in the goal, but he's the teacher of the goal of Krishna consciousness, Prayojana. And that's because he got the mercy of Lord Nityananda. So today you're all going to get an opportunity to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Another way you can get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, where's Aditya Narayan Prabhu? Was here? No. Here's an advertisement. Another way you can get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, see, that's Aditya Narayan Prabhu. You can first of all get some of Prabhupada's book, and secondly, work with him in distributing Prabhupada's books. As Prabhupada said, as a representative of Lord Nityananda, when devotees said, we want the dust of your feet, and Prabhupada said, my feet are always moving. So Lord Nityananda was the first person who was sent out by Lord Chaitanya, along with Haridas Thakur, to distribute this knowledge of Krishna consciousness and the knowledge of chanting Hare Krishna. So when you help, this is called the Sankirtan movement. Chanting is powerful. Like, we chant on japa, we chant in the temple room. But the Sankirtan, the Mahasankirtan, the distribution of Krishna consciousness to the people in general, the merciful manifestation of Lord Nityananda's very essence, which is what Sankirtan is, will actually get you there quicker. Okay, but today at least you take prasadam. That'll get you there too, but quicker. If you want to get on like the jet plane, supersonic airplane, rocket ship, whatever, then talk to Aditya Narayan Prabhu. He'll help you. Okay. So now are we ready to proceed with, we'll proceed with the auction. We have our famous auctioneer. We brought him all the way from Cary. So anyway, so Vikashananda Krishna, who's going to help distribute the mercy of Lord Nityananda. So thank you very much. All glories to His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Where did I put it? Did it slip?
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for sharing the wonderful nectarian pastime of Panihati Chidadai festival. Let's all give a big round of applause to Maharaj. Maharaj Ki Jai! So as Maharaj said that today is the day for getting Lord Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. So there were some children here. Where is Vedanta? Vedanta, very nice. And there were some more children. This was a special request from children to be seated around here. Now, for those who know what's going on, there's a reason they want to be seated around here. Okay? So thank you. Thank you for seating, getting ourselves seated very nicely. For those of you who are in the back, if you would like to take a seat, please come forward so we can make room. There's some room right here. If you see any space, if you see any wood space in front of you, please come forward and occupy it so we can make the maximum amount of room for everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Santosh Prabhu, would you like to take a seat or you're good? You're good? All right. Everybody in the back? Everybody, please take a seat. We are just about to get started. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki, Lord Nityananda Prabhu ki. Today is the most awesome festival of Pani Hati Chida Dahi festival, and today is the day where Lord Nityananda Prabhu is mercy is flowing incessantly. It is up to us to open up our arms and receive His mercy. Wouldn't we all want to receive Lord Nityananda Prabhu's mercy? And how do we do that today? We have a wonderful, wonderful tradition of doing this on Pani Hati festival. It is something that we have done year over year. It's something that we do once a year, and we look forward to this very day. What we are going to do, as Maharaj explained, that we have this rice, chipped rice and yogurt. It's called chida and dahi. So this preparation of chipped rice is to be distributed. So we have wonderful, wonderful preparations that have been offered here to the Lord. And before we get started, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and thank some very few key devotees who have helped in making this festival. So let's start off with Ananda Leela Mataji. Is she here? Hari Bol! Hari Bol! So Ananda Leela Mataji, she actually organized this. She encouraged the devotees. She got the devotees. She's a wonderful, wonderful artist. And there is there's a couple of pots here where she has painted herself. We'll keep that as a secret when we get there. There's wonderful painting that has been done here. She has encouraged a number of devotees. You can see these pots have been wonderfully painted by the devotees. Everybody got together. It's not just the getting of the pots and the painting, but it's the preparations that go inside this. So let's give a big loud Haribol. There's about 40 or 50 devotees who cooked the chira dahi and the sweets and the pakoras and all the wonderful offerings that have been made in the kitchen. 40 to 50 devotees. Let's give them a big loud Haribol. A big thank you to all the cooks who are in the kitchen. A big thank you to all the devotees who bought the bhoga, who made the preparations, who put the preparations in the pots, who decorated it with these wonderful sticks, these fruits that you will see that are actually standing out, such wonderful, beautiful looking, and also the devotees who were bringing them up from downstairs, upstairs, and taking it all the way into the altar. Thank you very much. A big loud Haribol. You were one of them. So here's what we're going to do. What we are about to do is we are about to give away these pots, but we do it in a very, very special way. And what you're about to witness here is completely transcendental. This is a spiritual activity. There's nothing material about this. It's a spiritual activity. We are going to get these pots out, and we would like to have these pots in an auction-like way. In an auction-like way. So we will have these pots come out. I would share with you what the opening bid would be. You got to win it, you got to bid it. So bid it to win it, and you go ahead and you just say, how much are we looking to do this? All of this is obviously a fundraiser that we do for the temple. All of the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds go towards the service of Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki. So we are going to bring out the pots. We're going to have a starting bid. And then if any of you would like to take that pot, just go ahead and raise your hand, state your name, and hold on. My goodness, these wonderful Vaishnav children. Okay, so raise your hand, and then you can state the bid at which is opened, or you can state something higher. And at that point of time, if there is anybody else who would really like to have that pot, you can raise your hand, state your name, and state your higher bid. And at that point of time, whoever has the highest bid wins it, and the pot goes to you. Clear? Yes, mother. Yeah, the increment has to be 5. Okay, something significant. Okay, so everyone clear on what we're going to do? All right, we're going to get through this in a pretty quick fashion because there's a lot of parts, there's a lot of devotees. We want to make sure everybody gets it. Two very important things to keep in mind. First is, like Maharaj explained, Lord Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is coming. We also know that from Bhagavatam we have this wonderful pastime of Bali Maharaj and Vaman Dev, and when we have Vaman Dev taking everything from Bali Maharaj, he himself offers to Bali Maharaj. So again, the lesson learned is when we offer everything to Krishna, Krishna reciprocates 1,000 times to us. And then the second thing is, when we take these pots are not something that we just take it home. Well, of course we do, but the ingredients of these pots, these cheda, dahi, and all these wonderful preparations are to be distributed to every single devotee out there. Take advantage of that. Panihati festival is all about loving exchange. Take this wonderful preparation and distribute it out. Make sure your pot is empty. Distribute it out to everybody. When every single one of us do that, not only our pot is empty, but we are also fed by the ingredients of the other people's pots. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get started, and we'll get. Yeah. So we have two varieties. We have salty and sweet. And so this one is salty, and so this is salty chida dahi with some nice pakoras and a wonderful Krishna painting on top of this. So we'll start this off with $51. $51 suggested donation bid amount. $51, anyone? Yes. Okay, so here's another thing. For children, please make sure your parent is here. So we need to make sure your parent is here and we have parental consent. And you're okay with that? Okay. No, it's okay for her to sit here. I just want to make sure that she has parental consent. That goes to all of you, by the way. Young Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, make sure you have parental consent. Yes, that's perfect. So $51? Yes? Anybody else? 55. 55. Anyone else? All right. Brajeshwari Radha Mataji gets it for 55. Hari Bol! Next one. This is a sweet offering with a Surabhi cow painting on it. This is a Surabhi cow in a garden. This is a sweet offering with some fruits on top, strawberry, mango, lot of good stuff. Starting bid $51. $51 with Surabhi cow. Anyone? 51, Vasudev Prabhu, $51. $51 going once, twice, and $61. $61. Anybody else? Overbidding that amount? Anybody? 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Hari Bol! And next one is another salty offering. This is, which painting is this? This is the painting of my favorite person's lotus feet. Can't get better than this. $51. Starting $51. Yes. $51? For my favorite person's lotus feet? I know. Yes, Vaishnavi. $65. 65. Yes. Where is your parent? You good with that? 120 for Sundari Mataji. Okay, 120 going once, twice, and Mataji gets it for 120. Here. What's your name? Agastya. Can I have some room, please? What painting is this? This one is the larger preparation. It's a salty poha dahi, chira dahi offering with some paneer, pakoras, lots of yummy stuff. This one is slightly bigger, starting bid 108, $108. Anyone? $108 starting? You want to turn around? Prabhu, can you help me turn this around? It's 108? Yes, mother. 108.